What's good, beast? What's good? What's good? This is Trey, and the topic for this presentation is how to get 3 dates per week with the exact kind of women you want. All right, so I'm just gonna show you step by step exactly how I was able to achieve this result 3 dates per week with the exact kind of women I want. And I was able to do this during COVID of last year, right? So 2020, when they had the lockdown and stuff going on, I was getting up to 3 dates per week with women that I find attractive, right? So women that I found physically attractive, but also women that I vibed with, you know what I mean? That had the similar values and the personality traits that I look for in a woman. But there was a process that I went through that that allowed me to get to that result, right? So I'm gonna break down the exact process. You can follow exactly how I give it to you as a T, or you can kind of calibrate it to your own situation. But I'm just gonna tell you exactly what I did. So first thing I looked at, okay, last year the coronavirus was going on, and basically they said, okay, we're gonna shut down the clubs, we're gonna shut down the bars, college campuses shut down, restaurants, pretty much everything shut down, right? Only things that were places that were open were grocery stores and department stores. Like, so where I'm at, I'm in Orlando, Florida. So, like Publix, Winn-Dixie, Walmart, Target, places like that. All right. So those were the only places that were open. So a choice had to be made. It was either, if you wanted to continue, because before COVID, I was picking up women, I was doing my thing. But in order to continue that, I had a decision. I had to decide, okay, am I gonna, just transition to online dating, right? Because I don't really use dating apps. I'm not really into that. But during the COVID, that was a route that pretty much everyone took. But I decided, okay, you know what, man? The freaking the grocery stores are open, man. You know what I mean? And before the COVID, I was approaching in grocery stores and stuff. So I had the experience and the references that backed up that it does work. You can meet women in a day and you can make it happen, right? So I knew this, but obviously there was this vibe, this negative energy that was coming up because of this coronavirus that I had to deal with and overcome. Because they were saying, okay, wear your mask, social distancing, this and that, right? So all this negative energy around socializing. But, I'm the type of dude, man, like if I see a challenge or I see like an obstacle, I don't, run away or try to change my path or whatever. I see first, is there a way, can I make the obstacle the path, right? I study stoicism, so this is like a stoic philosophy, like making the obstacle the path. So instead of running away from it, you go through it. So that's what I did with this whole COVID situation. I was like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to strengthen my characters. This is a challenge. This is for me to see how good is my game? How good am I at getting women? Can I make it happen? Can I make cold approach work during this coronavirus? So that's what I did, man. I took it as a challenge. So what I did is I have a system of how I pick up women, right? First, I have this understanding of creating a sexy archetype. And what I mean by that is basically designing yourself to look a certain way that is attractive to women, right? If you knew me a few years ago, I had this company I was running called Fearless Boss. I used to wear suits and stuff like that. This is a whole different archetype. Like some people are kind of like, yo, what happened? And I tell them like, I used to do the business stuff or whatever, but I'm not into that now. This is who I am. You know what I mean? Like this is really me. The business stuff, you got to dress a certain way or whatever, but I'm done with that. That's in the past. I decided to create this version of myself that, I talk about the sexy archetype. It's like if you were watching a movie or if you're playing a video game and you were in the video game or you were in the movie, you're supposed to look at yourself and be like, yo, that dude, I want to be that dude. Like, that dude's fucking cool. That dude's sexy, that dude's hot, that's whatever, that dude is a shit. You know, you should be looking at yourself thinking that, not looking at some other guy trying to be some other guy. You should be looking at you like, yo, he's the shit. And you have to create that. So I created this. This is not like random or that's just how I would. No, I created this entire look that you're seeing. I even created the sound of my voice. The way how I sound, like I made it, you know, it was all, I always had a low voice or whatever, but I used to be a lot, I would say I was a lot more monotone, right? But now you can see I move my voice a certain way. This is created, okay? The accessories I have on, this is created. The physique I have, this is created. My communication skills, everything you're seeing, I designed. I consciously worked on these characteristics because I understood what was attracted to women. And I wanted to check off as many categories as I can. You know, what she's seeing, what she's hearing, what she's smelling. I wear good ass cologne. I wear Invictus, and I wear what's the other cologne? Spice Bomb, right? I smell good, look good, sound good, working on my voice. You know what I mean? What's the other senses? You know, if she so I worked on my physique. When she touches me, okay, it's tight, right? You should work on everything you can, right? And, you know, you notice I created an archetype that makes sense for how I look. If I was a white man, I would probably be a cowboy, or I'd probably be a biker. One of those archetypes that is sexy, right? That I think is sexy too, because you got to think the archetype's sexy too. You don't want to create something that you don't fuck with. You got to fuck with it too. Because at the end of the day, the woman is responding to your vibe, to how you feel, right? She's a reflection of you. So if you ain't fucking with how you look and how you feel and all that shit, then create something that you can fuck with, right? So that's the first thing. It's like making sure you like your design. Create a design that you like, okay? Like if I didn't like this design, then I'd go back to the businessman thing, or I'd create another one or whatever. But this is the design that I like, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is knowing what kind of women you like, right? So I know the kind of women that I go for. I know what I'm physically attracted to. I know what characteristics I like to see in a woman, right? And so I make sure I understand these things. So when I get in front of these women, I know who my women are and who my women aren't. So I can end the conversation. If a woman is not displaying the characteristics or the qualities I'm looking for, I cut the conversation. But if I am fucking with the woman, then I keep the conversation going and I escalate and get her phone number, all that shit. So anyway, so understand the woman. Now, okay, so this was during COVID, so I didn't really have too many options as far as where I could go. You know, it's not like I could go to the club or go to the bar or I could only go to grocery stores. So I was limited to grocery stores, but the good thing is during COVID, everyone had to go to the grocery store. Like that, the grocery store became the club. The Walmart became the club because that's where everybody was. You know what I mean? Because people wanted to get out their house, and so they would go there, right? So obviously I had to wear a mask. That was a little weird, but whatever. I wore my mask, and I would go to these grocery stores. But the first thing I focused on was becoming grounded, right? This is something I talk about, becoming grounded in your masculine energy, becoming grounded in your vibe. Right? What is another way to put that is feeling comfortable in your skin, feeling comfortable in the environment, feeling relaxed, like actually loving the character you're playing, the identity that you have. So you feel good. You feel confident. You feel relaxed. You know what I mean? You got a nice vibe going on. A nice vibe, a pleasant vibe that people would want to be around. So now I focus on creating that. So it starts with the archetype. It starts with creating an archetype that you fuck with. It starts by knowing, having clarity on your goals, the type of women you like, all of that. So you can be clear and not be confused and scattered in your energy and understanding of things. So you had that clarity. Now you go in the environment, you focus on being comfortable. You have to be comfortable in the environment, because in order for a woman to feel comfortable around you, you have to be comfortable. Right? And even if you're creating attraction, if you don't make her feel comfortable, you can still create a weird vibe. Like she may feel like, yeah, you know, he's attractive, but something's off. You know, I don't really trust him, or I don't feel safe, or whatever. And So, you know, and some guys may be like, oh, what's wrong with her, whatever. It was your fault, you know what I mean? You didn't make her feel comfortable. Like maybe she was a little attracted to you, but if she doesn't feel comfortable, she ain't gonna fuck with it. Because it's an energy, it's a vibe, it's a feeling. So, so becoming grounded in the environment, how did I do this? I don't go into these grocery stores and these department stores and right off the bat, I'm like, okay, I gotta pick up some girls. No, I focus on being comfortable. I focus on becoming comfortable in the environment, comfortable being socially free in the environment. So what do? Right? I go up to people and ask them for directions. I go to people and ask them for the time. I go to people and just say hello. How are you doing? How's your day? I'll hear a opener, I'll read an opener or see an opener somewhere. I'll try it out. Like basically, my goal is just to get comfortable in the environment, get grounded in my energy, you know, because I wanna create this bubble, this container, this you know, just like this box, right? This vase, whatever the hell you want to call it. But basically, it's like my own vibe, my own universe, right? And if somebody comes into my universe, I want them to feel comfortable and safe and grounded in my universe. Like I want them to feel like, okay, they're around a king, and this king has control of his kingdom, right? And this king is not a pussy. This king's not weak. This king is confident, and he's assertive, and he's ready for challenges, and he can handle anything that comes up. And when you really have this feeling, when you go and approach a woman, she will feel it too. So first you have to get this feeling. And so I do it by making sure that I fuck with myself, meaning I like myself. I like I love myself. I love the character that I've designed. I love my purpose, my goals, you know, everything. Like I just make sure everything is aligned and I know what I'm doing. So I'm not stuck in my head. I can just live. I could just be free. I could be in my heart. I could be in my body while I'm in the environment. And I get comfortable. I start talking to people. I talk to guys. I talk to girls. I talk to everyone. Okay? And I do this consistently. I come out consistently. That is the key thing. You can't just do it one day and then stop. Consistently. So specifically, I would have a specific goal for the day, and I'd do that goal, and I would not deviate. So I'll say, for example, I'm going to ask 15 people for the directions for the day, right? And I will go out 15 people. Notice I didn't say girls, 15 people, because my goal is to get comfortable being socially free, because I have to have a strong foundation of groundedness and confidence before I can really affect women the way I want to affect them, right? And so I want to have this groundedness that I can rely on. So when I do interact with a woman, I don't have to be in my head trying to think of what to say, what to do, whatever. I just feel good, I feel relaxed, and I just express myself genuinely, right? I know exactly what I want. I know exactly what kind of women I want. I know that my archetype is on point. I know that I feel confident, I feel good. And so it's like you get into like a mentality of screening. You know, it's not this mentality of I hope she likes me. It's this mentality of I hope she qualifies. You know what I mean? I hope she qualifies as a woman that I actually am interested in. Right? So that's the mentality. But first you got to get comfortable. You got to get grounded. So I'll go out. I'll just get real comfortable. Once I feel good, once I feel comfortable in the environment, now I'm like, okay, let's up it. Let's make it a little more challenging. Let's start talking to some women, right? So I test out my vibe. I'll go up to a woman and I'll say the same exact thing that I've been saying to whatever I've been saying. So if it was the time, directions, whatever, I'll go up to a woman I find attractive and I'll say that same exact thing, and I'll feel out the vibe when I say it. How do I feel? Because the woman's reaction is a reflection of how you feel. So I check how I feel. I check my vibe. I check my groundedness. When I ask her for the directions, am I feeling nervous? Am I feeling weird? Oh, I feel good. Okay, cool. All right, bet. So now I'll escalate it. Okay, if I can walk up to women I find attractive and ask for the directions, I'll increase it. Let me be a little more direct this time. Let me go and give her a compliment, see how I feel about that. So I go and give a girl a compliment, and I'll check my vibe. How do I feel? Do I feel like I'm trying to get her validation, or am I able to freely give a compliment and walk away? I check that vibe. I make sure that's on point. Okay, that's on point. Bet. I go to the next thing. Compliments. Okay, let me let me try asking her, um, let me try being directed in the sense of showing some intention towards my attraction for her. So maybe I'll say, excuse me, I just want to say I thought you were attractive, right? And I'll say that, I'll listen to her response, I check the vibe. If the vibe feels good and I want to continue the conversation, I'll continue it. If the vibe doesn't feel good, I may just end it and walk away. Because all I'm doing is I'm checking my vibe, my ability to handle tension, right? Because groundedness, all that is your ability to handle tension in the environment. And that's something that can be built up. That's something that any man can work on. Any man can work on his being grounded in his masculine energy, right? So I'll check that vibe, okay? And I'll check where the level at. If I don't feel confident, I don't feel good, then I'll work on that. I'll do it some more times. Repetition, because that's how you build up that groundedness and you get more grounded, is you put yourself in tension so you can feel that tension and you can get comfortable with it. Right? That tension, you want it to become part of your comfort zone, right? So imagine yourself as you're creating a container, and like, can you handle the energy that's coming into your container? If it's too much, it's gonna explode the container. But if your container is strong, is sturdy, is grounded, then the energy can enter and you can handle it, right? And you stay composed, you stay masculine, you stay grounded, right? So I'll continuously do that. And once I get to a point where I feel good, like as far as like showing my intent to women, now I will set a goal that is geared towards getting me that result, right? So let's say my masculine energy, I've got it to a point where it feels grounded, it feels stable, it feels sturdy. I feel comfortable and confident interacting with women. Now I will start having this intention. Okay, now I want to get numbers and dates when I interact with these women, right? I focus on vibe. I'm not one of those guys that's like trying to figure out what's the perfect thing to say or perfect thing to do. I focus on the vibe because that's what's going on below the surface. The words are just there to fill up the vibe. But the vibe is what's important. It's the energy behind the words. It's how you feel while you're communicating. Because I could tell you, somebody could tell you the perfect words. I could tell you the perfect words. But if the energy behind it is off, it's not going to work. 100%. Guarantee it. If the energy is off, it's not going to work. So once you get that groundedness on point and your confidence on point, now you want to focus, okay, when you go out, your quota is designed to get you a certain amount of numbers. So me, I'll make the decision, okay, I'll have a set of indirect openers and a set of direct openers that I'll do for the day, right? And the direct openers, I use those to, I kind of use them as warm-ups. So, right, I'll start the day and I'll say, okay, I'm going to ask 15 people for the directions, right? And me, the reason I do this is because even though you get your groundedness to a certain level, I feel like each day you still got to kind of calibrate it for the day, right? So when I get in the environment, I don't focus on picking up women right away. Focus on making sure my energy is grounded, right? And make sure my vibe is on point and my calibration is there and I feel confident. So I'll do 15 indirect approaches on anyone. Then after those 15 indirect approaches, I'll do 15 direct approaches on women, right? Both women and both women I find attractive and women that maybe not so attractive. But the whole point is I want to get in that vibe of being able to speak directly. Then after doing the 15 indirect and the 15 direct approaches, now I'm going to be in a very good vibe, right? Those are just like numbers. Sometimes it's 10 and 10, sometimes it's 5 and 5. But you figure out the number that works for you and what works for your vibe and your unique personality and stuff like that. But I'll do that, and then after I do that, what happens is you start to get into a vibe where you naturally start approaching women without really thinking too much about the numbers, right? So I make sure I hit those numbers. After I hit those numbers, I get in this state. It's a certain state you get into where you just feel good. You know what I mean? And it's like you would just want to express that good feeling. Because to me, picking up women, all you're really doing is just energy exchange, right? And if the energy you're exchanging, the woman, like she her body responds to in a positive way, meaning the energy feels good for her to receive. Like if she receives your energy and she feels like it feels good and it makes her it turns her on or whatever, it's signaling to her, okay, this is the right guy, right? This guy, it's like that feeling, like basically like she gets a tingle in her body, right? And she gets a tingle in her pussy, like straight up, right? If it's done correctly, she gets that tingle, and that's how she knows when it's the right guy that she should be receptive to and she should be submissive to, right? But she's still gonna test you, you know what I mean? She's not gonna be like, oh yes, this. She's not gonna like say, hey, you're the perfect guy for me. You just made my pussy tingle. She's not gonna say that, but you'll see it in her body language. Once you do a certain amount of approaches, you'll see it in her body language, the way she looks at you. Okay, this girl's fucking with me, and it's my vibe. Don't give her the props like, oh, at least she, you know, she likes me or whatever. No, you did that. You created that vibe. You communicated properly. You give yourself the props, right? So once you see that, you continue the conversation and you make sure you close. You make sure you set a date, right? Okay. You know, usually how I do it is I'll say, okay, well, how about I take your number and you know, we'll set something up when you're free, right? Depending on how my schedule is looking, if my schedule is kind of open, I'll set I'll try to set the date in that moment, right? I feel, once again though, I feel out the vibe, because the vibe will tell you, right? You have to, this whole feeling out the vibe thing, it's getting out of your head and getting into your body so you can feel the energy exchange. Because guys will ask and say, you know, when should you do this and when should you do that? No, the vibe will tell you. The energy of the situation will tell you when you should ask for the number in the moment, or when you should wait a little bit, when you should set the date right there. You feel out the vibe. You pay attention to her body language. You pay attention to how, you know, what she's saying. You know, you pay attention to all these different details so you can have an understanding, okay, you know, this is the right move to make here based on the feeling of the situation. You know, and once you really get good at dealing with energy and understanding when to do it, this stuff carries over to all areas of your life. It carries over to your business. When you're making business moves and you feel out the energy, when you're around other business owners, or maybe you're in a meeting or whatever, you feel out the energy, and the energy will tell you what's the right thing to say to close a sale. You know, you feel out the energy. Don't force shit just because somebody told you, oh, this is what you say to get the sale. Nah, it depends on the vibe of the situation. If you could say the perfect thing, but if it's at the wrong moment, you could fuck up the whole deal. You know what I mean? You could fuck up the whole situation by saying the wrong thing at the wrong moment. So you have to be present to the moments, right? That's what this whole idea of being grounded is, you being relaxed, chill, confident, knowing you can handle whatever's gonna happen. Vulnerable, you know what I mean? Because the thing is, here's where this groundedness comes from. It's knowing that you can handle whatever the fuck comes up. Whatever comes up, you know you can handle it, right? That's what allows you to be grounded. And when a girl senses that, it allows her to go in her feminine, because that's why I talk about the beast. That's what you need to understand when I use this word, the beast. What I'm talking about is like a masculine man that's grounded, but you know, if you look at my profile picture, it shows the beast and the girl's laying on his chest and he just chilling, right? Because he's in a situation where he don't need to be like, roar and da-da-da-da-da. But best believe, you know, if you've seen the movie The Beauty and the Beast, when it's time for the beast to be a beast, the beast is a beast. And that's the whole idea of this whole beast. But the sexy, now I say sexy beast, is because you don't just want to be like a crazy beast that doesn't get no women. You want to get women too, so you want to understand, okay, what is attractive to women. And that's why I talk about creating a sexy archetype. Then I also go into the 5 survival values that Mystery gave us, because this is what's happening below the surface. I'm trying to speak to that part of her that has no choice but to feel attraction for me. I'm not trying to speak to her any logic. I'm trying to speak to the emotions of the body. And Mystery gave us those 5 survival values, and that shit works, bro. I'm telling you. I designed my beingness based on those 5 survival values, and then I add these other qualities on. So the 5 survival value, preselection. Preselection, that's the number one. So you want to focus on creating abundance with women, because women can feel when you have abundance of women. She can tell, she can sense it, because you don't speak from a place of scarcity. So you will say things and your sub-communication will let her know this is not a guy that's like a dry dick guy that's not getting no pussy. You know, this is a guy that gets pussy. Like, he doesn't even really need to be talking to me right now. He probably has some other girls. If you can create that vibe when you're communicating, that's gonna turn her on, because she's trying to get that guy, that best guy. She's seeking the highest quality guy she can get. And by definition, the highest quality guy she can get is probably gonna be desired by other women. More than likely, very likely, right? Because if she's seeing value in him, that means other women would see value in him. So you want to create pre-selection. Like, focus on abundance at first. If you want a girlfriend and you just want one girl, that's great. But first, before you get with one girl, get abundance first, because it will give you leverage. It will create a frame where the woman is looking at you like, man, this is a man right here. You know what I mean? So she will relate to you in that way. You don't want her to relate to you in the way like, oh, he's lucky that I'm with him. No, you want her to feel like she's lucky that she's with you, because you have these other women that are fighting for your attention, right? So so pre-selection, work on that, get that going. Protector of loved ones, the beast. You see, if you've seen Beauty and the Beast is a fucking beast. He will protect what he owns, or he will protect his loved ones. He will protect those he cares about. He will protect, you know, his universe, his world, you know, the people in his world, the things in his world. He's protective, right? He's not afraid of threats. He's not afraid of challenges. He will step up to life. It's a way of living. It's not just about women. It's being a beast in your life. You know, handling your shit as a man, handling your business, making sure your money's right. You know, don't let shit dip. Don't let nobody feel sorry for you. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Make sure you're handling all your shit and not making excuses, right? Raise your standards. Like, you know what I mean? That shit is important. Okay, so protector of loved ones. Make sure that you've created this characteristic in yourself where you will protect those who need you, or you know what I mean? Protect those around you. It's like and it's just like an understanding, because it's not like, you know, you go out and there's a guy shooting all the time, but it's just this vibe of knowing that, okay, if something was to happen, people have to feel like you would be one of those men that would step up, not one of those men that would run or be like, call 911, or, you know what I mean? You, the guy who will step up and handle the situation, right? You're willing to step first, you know what I mean, and lead. So pre-selection, protector of loved ones, leader of men. You want to develop leadership qualities. Like, you want to be, you want to have the willingness to lead. Like, there's times, you know, where you need to know when to follow and when to, you know, kind of chill out, whatever. But there's also times where you need to lead, and you have to be willing to step into that leadership role. And especially when you're relating to women, like, you pretty much need to be leading majority of the time. There's certain situations, like, for example, like, you know, like, let's say, you know, this actually happened to me. So I was, you know, fucking with some girl or whatever, and my car broke down and I needed her help to drive me somewhere, whatever. So she's driving me and I'm sitting in the passenger side, and in a sense you could say she's kind of leading. She's controlling the vibe or whatever, and I'm just kind of sitting there or whatever, you know. So like little situations like that, you know, instead maybe somebody might take the leading thing too seriously, like, oh, no, I don't want no girl to drive me around, or I don't want no girl to do this or whatever. No, like certain situations you kind of chill back, you let her lead, whatever. Like if I'm fucking with a girl and she's dealing with her kids, whatever, I let her lead that situation. I don't try to like overstep and try to run the, you know, pretend like I'm the daddy or whatever. You know, that's her kids, and I let her lead in that situation. Certain situations, okay, I'll delegate the leadership role. Or maybe, you know, if we're doing a task together and there's something that she specializes in better than me, okay, go ahead, take the lead on that. And you do that with the people around you. You know, you take the leadership. Certain situations is being a leader is also knowing when to put someone else into the leadership role. You know what I mean? Like if somebody has qualities that will help the group achieve the goal better than you can, you have to be smart enough, wise enough to say, okay, you know what, bro, you take the lead on this one. you know what I mean, or whatever, right? But for the most part, you have to have this quality of leadership. You know, you have to be willing to step up and lead in your life in different areas, not just with women, but throughout your life, because what you do in one area will reflect the other areas. So be willing to lead in all areas of your life. You know, when you go on a date with the woman, lead throughout the date. You know, when you get her number and you're trying to set up the date, lead. You know, when it's time to escalate the relationship, take the relationship to a next level, lead. When it's time to take it to a sexual level, lead. You know what I mean? You lead, and that means you have to basically face possible rejection. But that's part of being a man. Like, that's one thing that you want to work on as well, and that will allow you to become more grounded, is accepting rejection as a part of life. Doesn't mean that you love getting rejected, because I don't necessarily love getting rejected, but I can handle it, right? I can face it. It's not something I can run away from. You know, if I see a benefit of a situation, there's possible rejection, I'll go, because I'm like, okay, rejection is just part of this shit. And if I get rejected, that means whatever. One door closes, another door opens, right? So leader, preselection, protect the loved ones, leader of men, successful risk taker. So you got to be the type of guy that will take risks. And that, you know, we're just talking about facing rejection. You know, you have to take risk. You have to put yourself in situations where you could be rejected, where you could be physically, mentally, emotionally harmed, but knowing as a man you can handle it. There is nothing you cannot handle. Trust me. You've been alive for how many years? You've went through a lot of shit, and you're still alive. You're still alive. Like, it's just this weird thing in our head that makes us think, oh, fuck, what if this happens? What if this happens? A bunch of shit has happened in your life, and you've handled it. So you can handle shit, but you have to take on this mindset. Don't doubt yourself. You can handle it. You're a man, okay? You're a beast, right? So, preselection, protector of loved ones, leader of men, successful risk taker, and healthy emotions. Okay, healthy emotions, essentially, it means that you're in control of your emotions. You know, you're not, your emotions are not dictating your actions. You're not out of control. When it's time to be happy, you're happy. When it's time to be sad, you're sad. When it's time to be chill, you're chill. When it's time to be assertive and aggressive, you're assertive and aggressive. It's like basically being able to calibrate your emotions to the situation in a healthy way, right? So the emotion, when it's time for you to emote, it needs to make sense to the woman. Like, if you're emoting and to her it's like, what the fuck, like, what's going on here? Like, especially a mistake I made in past relationships is like getting emotional when it was time for me to be stable and logical, right? Because a woman is naturally like emotional, right? Like, she's basically going through this world like emotionally, right? And if we as men, we feel emotions too, but our power comes when we find the order and the logic in the emotion too, right? So there's some stability, there's some groundedness. That's why grounded men that are grounded in their masculine energy, they attract a lot of feminine energy, because feminine energy is chaos, it's emotion, it's whoa, 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 where's the feelings? And the masculine energy comes and says, boom, grounded. You know what I mean? And then so the female energy can come in here in this container of energy, but you keep the boundaries, you know what I mean? So she doesn't get hurt and she doesn't do no dumb shit. So hopefully that analogy or that example kind of help you understand that. But yeah, healthy emotions, just making sure that, you know what I mean, you're not out of control, you're not a victim of your emotions, and you're mentally stable and all that, emotionally stable. So those 5 survival values, you want to have them in your archetype. Insert those qualities into your archetype. By having those 5, you will get women, guaranteed. And if you're not getting women, it's probably, you know, you want to work on those 5. And I can help you with that if you kind of don't really understand what to do with that. You want to have those 5. Then you want to understand, okay, looks, money, and status. Those do play a role. Like, women do find men who have looks, status, and money attractive, right? But none of these are the end all be all. Like, some people think just make a lot of money, you'll get women. Not true. Because there's a vibe. We got to understand that there's a vibe and there's an energy that women respond to. So the money might get you through the door, right? Because it does make an emotional impact. When somebody walks up, even for us guys, if a guy who has a lot of money walks up, you feel it, right? But let's say he has a lot of money, you feel it, and he says, you know what, man, I want you to live with me, and I want you to spend the money with me. At first, when you start living with him, it's gonna be cool as fuck. If you've never experienced that, you're gonna be like, oh fuck yeah, money, 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 money. But what's gonna happen after a while? It's gonna become normalized. It's gonna become normalized. And think about it. Every time you've ever got something, even with women, like when you get it at first, it's like, oh my God, so amazing, so amazing. But after a while, what happens? It becomes normalized. And now you're looking for that next high or that next good. So that's what happens when you just focus on money. Yes, you'll get some women's attention. But after a while, they'll be like, okay, this is what's next. You know what I mean? And that's why as a man, you want to have all these qualities. You don't just want to have one. You know, if you want to get the money, go and get the money. But also go for the status. Also go for those 5 survival values. Also bring up your archetype. Also become grounded, because it's a fun. Think of life as a fun game. Like imagine you're playing a character. You're playing a character in a video game. In a video game, you know, the RPGs, what do? You have the different attributes, and you level up the different attributes. You know what I mean? See, life is the same thing. You know, if you want to have a powerful character, you level up all the attributes as much as you can. You know, when you play a video game, who do you choose? You choose a character that has the best qualities so you could win, because you want to win. Women see women the same way. They're choosing the character. Imagine life is a video game. They're choosing the character. They're choosing to be with the character that has the most maxed out attributes. So it's not just one attribute. You know, there may be some girls will go for that guy, but most women are going for the guy who has the most maxed out attributes. So, you know, and there's some core ones that a lot of women go for. So that's why I talk about being grounded in your masculine energy, because that's one of the core things women look for is a masculine guy, but he's also has to be grounded in it, right? It can't just be like crazy masculine energy that's just super aggressive or whatever. It's grounded. Right, so she can feel safe and she could go in her feminine, be submissive and benefit from it, right? So, so the topic here is 3 dates per week, right? So getting those things on point, your sexy archetype, being grounded in your masculine energy, understanding the system that I use. Basically, I focused on building up my groundedness, so I went out, just approached people, whatever, got comfortable with being social and being socially free. Then I started escalating to the point where now I started showing my intent to women when I would approach them, okay? And I would calibrate, right? I would approach them and calibrate my energy to get it to a point where my vibe was on point and the girl was feeling that. And then once we're having a good vibe and everything feels good, I would suggest a meetup. I should suggest a date. Some women say no, some women say yes. The ones that say yes, I say, okay, boom. We set up the date and we go on a date. Now, once I go on a date with a girl, my goal is just the whole time is really to just escalate, right? So I go on a date. The first thing I'll do, I'll probably hug her. More than likely, I'll hug her because I want to set the frame. Look, I'm a masculine guy. I touch women because men touch women, and that's natural. That's normal. Men are sexual beings. Women are sexual beings. Let's get that understood, right? So I'll hug her, and it's just like a normal thing. I don't make a big deal of it, but I understand that it gets the keynote going, right? So I hug her first thing, boom. Okay, you know, how's your day? How you feeling? Whatever, we're talking, boom. I usually go to like either get some wine or I'll go get a smoothie or something. So I get the wine, the smoothie, and basically my thing is, it's not so much about what I'm saying. I focus on the vibe. Like I basically want her to feel good. I want her to have a good time. She probably was at work, probably had some miserable shit going on or whatever. I want her to have a good time, feel good, and I want to have a good time and feel good. So I usually take her to a place that I would normally go by myself, like a place that I enjoy going to, a smoothie, wine place, whatever. Usually it might be a park or some shit going on. I might say, okay, let's get the smoothie. Boom, let's walk to the park. Then we go to the park, we walk around, whatever. We vibe, I talk about what's going on in the environment. I ask her about her life, ask her what's going on. You know, I tell her what's going on in my life. We vibe. I'm holding eye contact. I'm looking at her, speaking to her soul. I'm speaking to her soul because I want to connect with her. I want her to feel. It's all about feelings, right? So I want her to feel things, right? I want her to feel that I'm not filtering myself. So I speak from my heart. I just let it out. Whatever's coming to my whatever topics are coming to me, I just speak on them, right? I'm not trying to look cool. I'm not trying to be smart. I'm not trying to be anything. I'm just trying to be me. I already handled all that other shit. So I don't need to be in my head. Get out your head. That's why I said, handle your shit first. Create your sexy archetype. Get yourself grounded. Get all these things on point. So then when you get in front of the woman, you can just express yourself. You don't have to worry about what to say, what to do. You can relax, let go. You know what I mean? And just speak, right? But you're in a certain vibe that she's fucking with the vibe. It's not what you say. We don't really remember what people say. We remember how they make us feel. That shit is true as fuck. Remember how they make us feel. If somebody make you feel weird, make you feel awkward, make you feel judged or whatever, you're not gonna want to go and chill with them no more. But if the person makes you feel good, makes you feel like you're a real person, makes you feel like they're speaking to your soul, you know what I mean? That you're gonna want to be around that person, because that's what we want. We want like good experiences in life. So that's what I give the girl, you know what I mean? I just show her, look, when you get around me, it's good vibes. Ain't no bullshit, ain't no negativity, fuck all that, right? I'm masculine, right? I touch her, you know what I mean? I'll hold her hand, I'll say, hey, look, let's go check out this. Grab her hand, and like, it's no big deal though. Everything is no big deal. That's the key thing, because if it's a big deal, there's an energy that comes with it, and it's gonna turn her off. No, I want her to feel like preselection, remember? I get women. This ain't no big deal. I've done this 1,000 times, boom. I'm not bragging about it. It's just the vibe. And hold her hand, take it to the plate, to the whatever, to the water or whatever. Talk for a little bit, okay? Look her in her eyes. We're talking. Because I'm so in my body, so relaxed, so grounded, this whole thing with when do you kiss her, you'll know when to kiss her, because if you're connected, your energies are connected, you create this vibe where it feels like it's just you and her. The energy is gonna be it's gonna be very obvious when it's time to kiss her, because usually what happens, at least for me, is there's like a silence at some point. It's like the energy feels so good that you both can be silent and it won't be awkward. When that happens, I look her in the eye, like it's just this look where I'm just like, and I'll breathe in. I'll probably look at her lips too, and then if she's looking at my eye and looking at my lips, then I'll kiss her, right? And after the kiss, it's not like I'm like, okay, what do I say now? I just breathe, man. Just fucking breathe. Like, that's like, one of the things here is like, the reason why you're so focused on things, because you're not in your body, you're in your head. So your head is like, okay, what do I say? What do I do? Get out of your head, man. Go into your body and be grounded, relax, and stop caring so much about the woman not liking you. Like, just you need to love yourself. You need to love. That's why I said make sure your archetype's cool as fuck. So you love yourself. You know you're the shit. So you're not too worried about, oh, what do I say? What do I do? No, because you start thinking like that, she can feel that energy. There's an energy about it when you start thinking, oh, what do I say? What do I do? And she could feel that. It turns her off. And then she'll start trying to figure out, why am I feeling something is off here? So now she'll start justifying, oh, maybe he's not that cute, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that, right? But it's because of the feeling that you're creating a negative feeling, because you're not being present. You're not being grounded. You're not being relaxed and staying calm and firm in your masculine energy, right? So I'll kiss her. I'll continue to vibe or whatever. And then usually, depending on the vibe, I'll either say something like, all right, so let's get out of here or whatever. It's getting kind of late or whatever, right? And then I'll say, you know what? I'm actually going to go back to my place, probably watch a movie or something. You could come over and keep me some company if you want. So I will throw that out there, because my thing is, like, when it comes to sex, I believe sex is a normal thing. It's not a big deal. And I should have no problem, like, creating that situation, right? Because we're going back to leading, right? You have to lead. So instead of me, like, hoping, oh, I hope she, no. I say I'm going back to my place. Basically, I'm inviting her to come over, but I tell her, look, I'm just going to be vibing, and I'm going to be watching a movie, or that's usually what I say, or, I'm probably going to practice the piano for a little bit. You could come over, I'll play you a song or whatever. I just have I give her some reason other than sex for her to come over, because if I just make it about sex, it's going to make her feel like a slut. I'm not trying to do that, right? But she knows she's not stupid, right? We're having a good connection, right? I'm turning her on, all this stuff. So she knows that if I suggest her to come over, that means I want to have sex. So she will either say yes or no. If she says no, that's fine. I say, okay, or no worries. I had a good time or whatever. Give her a hug and a kiss. Bye. And then I may hit her up later, whatever, next day, whatever, might set up another date. Okay, cool. If she says yes, then it's like, okay, either I don't, depend on the situation. She probably took her own car or Uber or whatever. I give her the address. She comes over. When she comes to the crib, when she gets to the crib, I keep my distance, right? This is, I don't know, they teach a bunch of different shit. I see a girl, when she comes to my crib, I see her as a cat. Y'all know how cats move? Cats, like, they like to just do their own thing, but when they're ready, they'll come and sit on your lap, or they'll come and rub on your leg or whatever. That's how I treat the girl when she comes over. I'm not all over her. She's expecting me to be all over her and trying to fuck. No, I don't do that. I do exactly what I said I was gonna do. If I said I was gonna watch a movie, I turn on a movie and I relax and I chill. Or if I'm gonna play the piano, I play the piano and chill. I let the vibes get good. I let her get comfortable in the environment. I say, hey, you want something to drink? I give her something to drink. I give her space. I act like I don't even want sex. Obviously I do, but I act like I don't want it. Not because I'm trying to be fake or anything like that. I'm allowing her to get comfortable in the environment. I'm allowing her to feel good in the environment, right? Because she, you know what I mean? Like, she just met me or whatever the case may be. Maybe you only knew each other for a week or whatever. I have to make her feel safe, you know? I have to make her feel safe. So I just make her feel comfortable, whatever. I feel out the vibe. Then if we're having a good time, I will escalate, right? If we're having a good time, I'll be, you know, we're talking about something. I might high five her or whatever. Or, you know what I mean? Or we're vibing. Got a call. I might wrestle with her. You know what I mean? Like, play around. My bad, I keep getting a call. But yeah, I might wrestle with her, play with her, you know what I mean? I might play a video game, and I might say, yo, if you lose, you have to, depending on the vibe. So like I said, pay attention to the vibe. But like, I'll say something, you know, we're playing a video game, we've been wrestling, we've been moving around. You know what, if I beat you, you have to give me a shoulder massage or a back massage or whatever. If you beat me, then I give you a massage. If I beat you, I get a massage, right? So basically, you know what I mean? Like, I'll create little games, you know what I mean? To basically, like, move up the tension or whatever. But I feel out the vibe while I'm doing this. Like, that's the key thing, right? I feel out the vibe. Sometimes the vibe is telling me, you know what? Maybe today is not the time for sex. This is the thing where dudes fuck up. Like, they'll try to force the issue. I don't force it. If the vibe is telling me, probably not tonight, I don't make no move. You know, like, I've told girls to leave. Like, if I feel something is off or whatever, I'll be like, yeah, you know, I'm about to go to sleep. But yeah, you're always welcome to come by or whatever. You know, I will basically kick a girl out and you know what that does though. When you kick a girl out and you don't try to get the sex or whatever, that makes her want you more. And I'm aware of that. So I have this long-term view of things, because I see it as a seduction. Like, if you read The Art of Seduction, seduction is like a long-term thing. It's not short-term. So I see, every time I meet a woman, I see it as a seduction. I'm not like one of those thirsty dudes, I gotta fuck. That's a scarcity mindset. When you have the abundance mindset, you know there's always gonna be women. Especially if you keep leveling up as a man, you're gonna keep attracting more women. So yeah, I think I went through the whole process pretty much, right? Getting the 3 dates per week. So the 3 dates per week basically comes in once you get the grounding and the archetype and everything. You start getting dates. You look at the numbers, like, you start calculating shit. You know what I mean? Like, you just get a system together. I start creating a system. Okay, if I approach 30 girls, if I do 15 approaches to warm up, and then I approach 15 girls that I find attractive, out of the 15, I get, like, let's say maybe 5 to 8 numbers. Let's just say I get 5 to 8 numbers. I'll do the math. Okay, 5 to 8 numbers. I bet out of the 5 to 8 numbers, 3 to 4 turn into a date, right? Or 2 to 3 turn into a date, right? Depending on the situation, right? But I'll start looking at the numbers and shit, right? Because if you're trying to get 3 dates a week, you got to get a little logical about it. So you have a system that you can rely on consistently, right? And you can optimize it, right? You can test out different things. Right, but basically, I just gave you like the framework of how it works. It's like you focus on you creating this sexy archetype, get your masculinity, your groundedness on point, your confidence on point, then you start approaching. You start talking to people, getting social, getting your social freedom on point. Then you start talking to women, getting your vibe right, seeing how they're reacting to you, make changes, you know what I mean? Test different things out, see what's working. Then once you got something that's working, you just repeat it, rinse and repeat, and you optimize it. That's how you get it 3 days per week. For me, it built up. You know, it started off with 1 date, now 2 days, not 3 dates per week, right? And then what happens, at least for me, is like, okay, you start going on the dates, and then, you know, you start to go on these dates with these women, and you have sex with some of them, whatever, and then you create a rotation, and then you decide, okay, do I just want to have a rotation, or do I want to make one of these girls my girlfriend? You know what I mean? That's the system. And you can do this with cold approach pickup. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's how I do it. I'm not a big fan of these dating apps and stuff like that. Cold approach pickup is where it's at for me. All right, so that's the process. I hope this made sense. If this made sense, go ahead, try it out and use it for yourself. But if you're someone who wants to actually work together on this, right, I actually have this broken down into a system, exactly what you have to do. I'll just put you on my system, right? So if you're interested, I basically broken this down into a 21-day system, right? It's like things you do for 21 days straight. And if you follow the system, you're going to get to a point where you have 3 dates per week, right? So if you're interested in this, I'm coaching you on this. This is a coaching program, right? I gave you the framework and everything in this presentation, so you can go and use it for yourself. But if you would like the coaching and accountability, go ahead and send me a private message. A 21-day challenge. Normally I charge $497 for it, but right now I'm doing it for $97. Right? I do it for the first 3 people that hit me up. The first 3 people, I do the coaching for $97, right? So if you think about that, I'm gonna be showing you my process, exactly how I did it. So I'm giving you the formula. You don't have to figure anything out. I'm gonna be coaching you. So we're gonna jump on a call, and I'm gonna help you, you know what I mean, figure out, okay, what you need to do with your archetype, all these different things. We jump on a call, do that. And then 21 days, so that's 3 weeks, right? So you'll get 3 coaching calls. 3 coaching calls, you're gonna get the actual daily action steps that you have to take for each day for the 21 days. And then I'll be coaching you and holding you accountable throughout those 21 days. And the goal is for you to get 3 dates per week, right? So if that's what you're interested in, and this is guaranteed, like I'm gonna make sure you get the 3 dates per week. So you don't have to worry about, oh, what if I don't know? Well, trust me, I'll make sure. As long as you're coachable and you follow through on the steps, you'll get 3 days per week, right? I did it during COVID-19 when it was like super like locked down. Right now, at least for me, it's not as locked down. It's a lot more chill. Like the clubs, bars are open. Not sure where you are. But as I said, I made it work during the lockdown, right? I was going to the grocery stores and stuff. So as long as you're willing to go to grocery stores and wherever is open in your area, maybe malls or whatever, you can make this work. And I'll be coaching you exactly how to do it. So if you're interested, it's $97 for the first 3 people, right? So go ahead and just message me, DM me, say, hey, Trey, I'm interested in the 21-day challenge, and then we'll get you started. All right, thanks for watching. Peace.